Hey guys, how's it going? My name is Brian. I'm a videographer and photographer based in Brooklyn, New York. And as you can see, I like my bags. And so I was trying to figure out my travel situation for 2026. And I think I've settled on this setup right here. And all these bags are provided by a company called GuraGear. I approached them. They didn't approach me or try to send me money like that. I had another photographer friend, Karthik, who's an amazing wildlife photographer, and he had one of their bags. And so I was obsessed. So I reached out to them asking if I can get some loaners and test out the gear, and they were nice enough to say yes. So I have 3 different bags here. On my right here is the main camera bag. This is the Kiboko City Commuter, 18 liters. In the middle is their sling, the Kiboko Sling, 6 liters. And then this is their Mara Duffel, which comes in 40, 60, 80, and 100 liter size. This right here is a 60 liter size. And so all of these bags are made up of X-Pack. So if you don't know what X-Pack is, it's a really durable, lightweight material made out of nylon and polyester. It was originally designed, as I believe, for sailboats in inclement conditions. So really tough material, but also really lightweight and 100% waterproof. These bags have really thoughtful construction and they're really lightweight for how durable they are. So I'll start off with this bag, the Kiboko City Commuter first. All right, so as you can see, this bag is like relatively compact. Everything is kind of like staying together. There's no straps like wildly hanging off, which is one thing I really like about GuraGear. I'll start off in the front. As you can see, all X-Pack. They got some molly webbing on the bottom, and they have this interesting like 2-fold butterfly pocket design. This is kind of in tribute to their main wildlife camera bag. Their founder is actually like a really big safari wildlife photographer. And one thing he told me was that he was struggling to really open camera bags in like a really tight Jeep when he's on a safari without like the flap opening up and like hitting the next person. And so he designed it so that you can open this and access the main compartment. Obviously minimal space when you're opening it in this butterfly design. So this is their urban city bag. It doesn't have the camera compartment access in the front, but it does have access to like their little accessory pockets. So I kind of like that they kept that consistent. As you can see, they got some pretty big pockets in here. 2 mesh zippers, usually where I keep extra batteries or like little small SSDs, hard drives, and I'll keep my Apple charger here for my MacBook. Here I have a hotel key card that I never returned. But yeah, it's really easy to grab anything from here. Say if you have this bag under the airplane seat in front of you. Same thing on this side, I got some lens wipes. You got little pen holders. One thing that's really cool is they have an RFID shield. So this prevents people from scanning, getting your information. You have like a little keychain holder. And then another like plastic carabiner situation going on here, so you can hook on one more accessory. And then let's go into the side. There's another zipper right here. This, I don't know if this actually came with a rain cover. Usually I ditch those right away. But I really like this pocket because I can hide, keys or anything, passport I want to keep secure in here. There's a little black pocket in here for air tags. So I don't know if I can grab this out of here. So air tags, side note, I think every single person should have air tags in their camera gear, whether it's checked or on their body. I had a situation with a friend who had their checked luggage going to Alaska. We had a layover in Seattle. The airline, for some reason, didn't put it on the next leg. So we arrived in Alaska, not knowing where her checked luggage was. And luckily she had air tags in all her bags. So she checked, saw that the airline never put it on to the next flight, reached out to them, got it squared away, and she got her checked luggage the next day. If she didn't have that, I don't know what she would have done. I'm pretty sure the airline would have had to scramble and spend a couple days trying to find out what happened to the bag. And at that point, your trip, like all that money is just gone to waste. So this small thing can save you an entire trip. And then for the side pocket here, I really like this. There's a magnetic enclosure on both sides so that when you're not using this bag, it goes right back into the compact size of this bag. So you can fit probably a travel tripod, 2 legs in here, and then secure it with this buckle. If you have a big tripod, you could probably fit one leg in here and have the other 2 legs hanging out. At least for if you have a water bottle. I have this liter SodaStream bottle here. This just fits the bottle. So if you have one of those big like Yeti Ramblers or Stanley mugs, that's not gonna fit in the side pocket, just so you're aware. Let's move on to the top. Here we have a nice little handle. We have the roll top secured by 2 magnetic straps. I wish this was just one. You know, going through the airport and having to do 2 of these while your roll top is full of stuff, really, really annoying. Because usually what I'll do is that as I open this, hopefully you can see from the top down, it's a pretty big size compartment. And what I'll usually do is I'll keep my film rolls that are non-developed, and I'll keep them here so that I can hand check quickly to the TSA, and then I'll close this again. The only downside is that the 2 straps just take forever to buckle. So on their newer bag, they have 1 strap. On their 21 liter bag, they have 1 strap here. So glad they went away from the 2 straps, but I wish this bag, you know, didn't have the 2 straps. So with the roll top, you can fill this to the brim because there are 2 little magnetic tabs on each side so that it just closes. And then on the walls, the lining of this roll top is the same as their camera cubes. So you can put another camera in here and it'll be just as secure and it'll have a protection as the inside. Usually I'll just keep things I need to quickly grab out of this top compartment. It's got Velcro secured mesh pockets if I'm putting film rolls or if I put little accessories. And this top actually fits the 6 liter camera cube. So I can take the camera cube out of the sling, which I'll show you later, and actually put it into here for like kind of a modular system. So that's the roll top. Sorry if the top view camera doesn't really show it that well, but you can fit a lot in here. Let's go to the side. As you see, not much here, but you do have this side compartment. This is what I was really looking for when it comes to a city bag. I need to have the quick side access. Obviously I'm carrying my camera gear, but if I'm just doing street photography, maybe I want to take it out really fast, I do have the side pocket with, again, mesh line pocket with Velcro secured. And then I have like a Q343 in the side pocket. And one thing that you'll notice with all their bags is that they have, when you open their camera compartment, you have this lining all the way around. And so this is a way to tell that, hey, your pocket's open, don't pick up your bag. Extremely, extremely thoughtful, because there are a handful of times where I've been on a trip and someone didn't realize their backpack is open. So they'll just loop it around their back and you'll see thousands of dollars worth of camera gear just go rolling on the dirt, on the rocks and get scratched. It's really sad to see. So extremely thoughtful that they added that blue lining. It's a really small touch, but hey, it's important. And so let's go to the most important part, the backside. Here you have your backpack straps. Nothing amazing about them, but X-Pack on the front and kind of foam material on the inside. Feels really comfortable, no complaints. They have this chest strap, and again, magnetic. One thing I didn't talk about is that on all their straps, they have these magnetic strap organizers just to prevent like wild straps just hanging off. I've seen it a lot in people who have like just straps going all the way down to their knees, and when they're walking down like an airplane aisle and they're like turning, they're just slapping everyone in the aisle. I'm really glad that they have like these strap organizers so I just don't have wild straps hanging off of me. Now, one really important thing about travel bags and city bags is that they need to have luggage pass-throughs. That's so important to me, because when you're carrying camera equipment on your back for days on end, it's really nice just to have this luggage pass-through so you can put it on a rolling carry-on luggage, and so you don't have to carry that on your back the entire time through the airport. It's got little foam back support pads. These are really, really nice. Also vented for breathability. And then with the zippers, they actually come together to form like this little loop so that you can put like a TSA approved lock or some sort of security device in between the zippers. So you open this up, turn this sideways. So as you can see, I don't have a lot in here because I have my Sony cameras, which are usually my A and B cameras, filming me right now. So I've got my Leica Q343 and my film camera in here just to show you that you can fit 2 mirrorless bodies in here and maybe 1 or 2 lenses. This isn't the biggest camera bag in the world and it's not designed to be. I do have a separate bag for that, for like the heavy duty travel, but you know, again, urban city bag, if it's what I need. Really sturdy dividers. It's got everything I need. I got 2 lenses in here. And then on the lid, 2 really big mesh pockets for accessories. It also comes with this laptop sleeve and iPad sleeve for tablet devices. One thing I will say about the sleeve here is that I have a 16-inch MacBook Pro, and that just fits in here and it's really snug. And so if you have a laptop like that in the sleeve and you secure it, there's no way you could fit an iPad in here. The one thing that I wish GuraGear did is that instead of putting the laptop in the lid, I wish they put a side access compartment on the back side of this so I can quickly grab the laptop without having to open my camera compartment, showing the world what's in my bag, just so I can pull out like an iPad or a MacBook. Small request, you know, if I could personally design a bag, I would make this a little thicker so I can add the side access for a laptop. And then another downside actually about this side is that you can see these 2 little loops. I don't know if they're accessory loops or if they're just support for the backpack straps, but these get in the way all the time. I've seen another person review this too, that they would just cut this off. And I think I might do the same because when you're closing your backpack, these tend to get caught on like all the time. Like, look, see right here? As I'm trying to close, this loop keeps blocking. So if I'm trying to open, and then of course I'm doing this to pull on the zipper, it gets cut on this little loop. I think GuraGear needs to remove these. That's the biggest thing because I'm constantly opening this, obviously, to access my cameras, and I'm just hitting this random little loop here. I think the same thing, maybe a little bit, in terms of the side compartment. When I'm opening, I do run into this little pad here. Not so much, not the end of the world for the side compartment, but at least for when you're accessing the actual camera compartment, these little loops tend to get in the way. So I think that's about it for this bag. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments. But I will say one thing about X-Pack is that it's not meant to look pretty throughout its entire lifetime. So as you can see here with the X-Pack VX21, it tends to get abrasions. But that's kind of something, at least with like ultralight backpacks or stuff like that, it's gonna happen with this material. I think if you have like a fabric woven material, it'll be pretty compact and sturdy, and it won't get these like abrasions, but it won't have the same lightweight as X-Pack does. So that's something to keep in mind. It's not gonna maintain like this pretty look throughout its entire lifetime. So that was the Kiboko City Commuter 18-liter backpack. All right, next on up, we have the Kiboko 6-liter sling. So nothing like too crazy about this. It's a sling made out of the same X-Pack material that's consistent throughout all their bags. I will say one thing about this bag is that structurally it's not as strong as the Kiboko City Commuter, where it has like the inner build of the cube on the inside. And so with this, I'll show you later, is that they have a separate removable cube for added protection. So let's start on the front. They've got this little tab here that you can loop around your zipper for a TSA approved security lock. Waterproof line zipper, but there is a gap at the end. At the end, there's a bit of a gap between the actual zipper and the end, so that there's a chance that water can get in here. If you're in a downpour, water's gonna get into the bag, but Otherwise, if it's light rain, you're perfectly fine. So in the front compartment, 2 meshed little pockets. You got your little pen pockets or holders here. You have another chain for keys. Nothing crazy, but it can fit a decent amount. And then this access to the top. I moved the Leica and my film camera into this bag, just so as an example. And so you can see here that it can fit probably 2 compact bodies, right? So like the Leica Q, maybe like a Fuji. Here I have like my film camera. This bag isn't really meant to carry like really big systems. So you might be able to fit like a mirrorless camera like my Sony A1 and a 24-70 here, but it'll be pretty snug. I would recommend just using this bag for compact cameras, because you could have like the Leica Q and then like a 360 camera or some sort of accessory in here and fit that comfortably. And then like I was mentioning before, this is a removable camera cube. So what I can do is I can take this camera cube, bring my City Commuter that I showed you earlier. And if I want to have like some sort of modular system where I'm like easily organizing things, I can insert that whole camera cube right into the roll top compartment of my backpack. But I'll leave this out for now. Back to the bag. Without the cube insert in here, this is actually really spacious. And so it doesn't have the padding, so I wouldn't put anything really delicate inside of here because it's not gonna have protection. But otherwise, this has a lot of room for like water bottles, obviously your phone, wallet, things like that. On the inside here, they have this wall of pockets for memory cards, color-coded so that you know like, hey, these are used, these are unused. I have an SD card in here as an example. One thing I will say is I generally don't like having my memory cards just out and about. I usually have them in the secure like little memory card case. Because I've had just, you know, memory cards just sitting in my pockets before, in my bags, and they'll inevitably break. So I would avoid using this, but you have the option here if you're just going on like a casual shoot. You have 4 mesh pockets on the front wall. On the back side, you have another mesh pocket with a zipper, and then another pocket on the other side of that with secured by Velcro. So GuraGear does not shy away from adding a pocket whenever there's empty space, which is always nice. And then you got a nice little security handle here and closer to the body. So as you're holding it like this, you're gonna have 2 pockets. So one big pocket, maybe for your phone or something easy to reach, but one pocket that's somewhat hidden and closed with these magnetic enclosures, just like with the roll top, is an RFID shield pocket. This makes sense to have it closer to your body because if you have something like a passport, something really valuable on the inside, you don't want pickpockets going for the outside zipper with your important stuff, right? So you have this secured. I just have the extra dividers from the cube in here for added security. I don't think there's an AirTag pocket in the sling. I might be mistaken. So I just shoved an AirTag into here. And let's talk about the most important part, which is the strap. So I love the padding on the strap. If you have a sling that doesn't have really strong padding, your back is gonna hurt. I have 3 or 4 sling bags, and the 2 of them don't really have the strong padding, and I just never use them anymore. So always important to have something that can keep it really secure to your body and it feels comfortable. The one thing that's interesting is that GuraGear added like a little bit of a, I would say adhesive, but like sticky material, so that when you're swinging the bag around to open the compartment, the bag or the strap padding does not move around. So it's actually really nice because you never have to get it off of your shoulder. The one thing though is that the entire strap moves. Because of this, all the little plastic loops and the strap pulley to extend the strap, they're all rubbing against your body. So if you have a heavy jacket, anything with a lot of pockets, anything kind of precious or delicate material that you're wearing, it's gonna get scratched and scuffed or get held up with all the loops, just so how this is designed. I've seen another reviewer complain about the same thing. It's really annoying if you are doing this and you just feel the loops all over your body, kind of like rubbing against it. But that's my only complaint about this bag, but it is a thing to be aware of. And of course, like with a lot of slings, you can remove the strap if you're traveling, or if you're just using this as an extra carrying case. So that was the Kiboko 6-liter sling. Excited to use this on my next trip. Final bag, and the biggest one, is the Mara Duffel. Again, this is the 60-liter version. Once again, all X-Pack. The top and the sides are VX21, which is like the standard medium strength X-Pack material, if you could say. But the bottom is actually a stronger VX42. So I think this is, I don't know, 3 or 4 times more durable, if I have to give it a number. And one thing that I didn't mention about X-Pack before is that it tends to get abrasions, and that's perfectly normal. If you're someone that's like into backpacking, who's into ultralight packs, this is nothing new to you. But the thing with X-Pack is that it will scratch easily, and it's not the best against punctures. I think heavy woven fabric backpacks are really strong against that. But again, you're sacrificing weight for the strength of like the scratches. This doesn't mean that it's like puncturing all the way through, but if you're someone that's really into aesthetics and you see like all the abrasions, you might not like this. So anyways, really quickly, you got pockets, waterproof front, maybe just in front, and on top lid. And you got handles on the sides, little loops. And on this side, this is really nice if you're trying to get your bag from the overhead compartment. I've seen a lot of people struggle when they just have duffel bags, so it's nice that you have handles to grab onto. Again, a waterproof line zipper on the top with the TSA security lock loop. One thing that's really interesting though is that I don't know if they just couldn't make the construction of the actual main compartment zipper out of waterproof line material. Maybe it's hard to make this curving design, but it's only protected from rain with this little shielded flap. I think you'll be fine, but again, in a downpour, water will get into your bag. And I'll talk about these buckles that you notice hanging off here at the end. So when I got this bag, it came in this packing cube. One thing I really was surprised by, but that I love, because when you have to take this duffel away and just put it into storage, like it just takes up a lot of space, right? I have maybe 2 or 3 duffels that have the straps hanging out. It's just all over the place. So it's really nice that you can fold this up, put it into this packing cube, and it's in a nice form, and it's not hanging around everywhere. Really thoughtful that GuraGear provided this. And as I mentioned before, every GuraGear bag has this special blue lining so that you're not accidentally picking up your bag with all your precious things inside and spilling all over the floor. Pretty straightforward in terms of the actual compartment. You have mesh line pockets. You have an not an RFID, you have an AirTag pocket on the inside, so I want to put that there. There's that option. This can probably fit like a 4x6 paper or book. You can't fit too much, and I wouldn't make the lid too heavy, but there's that option for you. Every wall on the inside compartment of the duffel has the mesh line pocket. So this is really meant for like the ultimate storage. It's not, the walls don't have like this solid construction, so as you can see, it just collapses. I wouldn't use this bag to carry camera or photographic equipment without that equipment being in some sort of other protection, like a camera cube or some sort of organizer. This duffel is really meant to be like your general storage, right? So I can fit a travel tripod in here, but I definitely wouldn't leave like a laptop just hanging around. It would have been nice if they made a sleeve for a tablet or something like that, but you know, not the end of the world. I'll leave the actual dimensions for the interior compartment on the screen, just so you know. So yeah, that was that. Using this to carry all my toiletries, tripod, clothes, obviously. But let's talk about the main thing that some people kind of have a problem with this bag, is that it doesn't have a shoulder strap for some reason. It does not come with it. Even though you can see all these points, mounting points, where you can add one, it doesn't come with one. It comes with the Velcro handles, which aren't size adjustable, so you can do this, but you know, once this is full, it's kind of uncomfortable. When you're holding this, right, there's a lot of stress on your arm. So the one thing that GuraGear did provide are backpack straps. And don't be a dummy like me and put it on the wrong strap. GuraGear actually color codes the strap so you know right from left, which is really, really cool. So I'm about 5'8". I'm not the tallest person in the world, but this is what the 60-liter version of the Mara Duffel looks like. So, oh, not bad. Obviously, it's gonna weigh down a little bit more when it's full, but this is what the straps look like. I kind of wish there was a chest strap like on the Commuter, but yeah, at least you have the backpack straps when carrying this around. The downside, though, is that I can't carry this backpack and this duffel at the same time. At least it won't be easy, obviously, with the straps. So the one thing that I've thought about, or I might try to do, is take one of the straps off and then kind of cross buckle so that it goes across versus just up and down, and then use the backpack strap as a shoulder strap. I think this is a little better, and it's padded so it feels nice, but otherwise I kind of wish GuraGear did provide a shoulder strap here. I'm not sure why they didn't. I feel like it's an easy win. You're already including backpack straps and like a packing cube and all these accessories. Why not just include a shoulder strap? Yeah. So I haven't used this bag yet, but I will be using it on my next couple of videos, which please watch, because I'll be putting this through real world experience and travel. And we'll also have some really fun adventures with this bag with all my stuff inside of it. So that was it for the GuraGear bags. Again, I've got the Sling and the Commuter. The one thing I will say is that the things that I have here, I haven't experimented in like really harsh environments. I've traveled for 6 months, multi-city trips for work with this bag. I'm excited to use the Sling and the duffel, but haven't put it, you know, through really big trips or some inclement environments. But again, the founder is a photographer who does wildlife photography, so they definitely had their opinion in terms of the design through their own experiences. If you have any questions about any of the bags here, feel free to ask. I will try to answer in the comments below, but this is what I have for photography and video travel for 2026. Thanks for watching.